Awesome. Hi, Scott.
Hi, Caroline. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I am very well. I'm very well.
Good night to you over there in Scotland.
Yes, 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 yes.
We're so excited to have you here. This is episode 3 of Power Hour and our first partner Power Hour. And so we're really excited to be doing this with you and Relevance. We had a fun time last week really getting into like, okay, I have an idea. Like, how do I actually start in V0? How do I start to build agentic qualities? You and I were jamming last week, and you showed me a sick demo of the website generation agent you built with V0 and Relevance. And I think that we were both just like, we should just do this live and show everyone because it was awesome. And so I'm really excited to dive in with you today. Before we get started, I'd love if you could just introduce yourself, tell everyone a little bit about Relevance and what you're working on and who uses you.
Cool. Yes, I'm Scott. I've been at Relevance for a couple of years. I'm a growth lead here working on our ecosystem. We're an AI workforce platform, we call ourselves. It's a place where anyone can build and run AI agents.
Awesome.
And we're kind of used by all sorts of companies from small businesses, but all the way up to big companies. And we just did a big stream today about a lot of case studies we did with people like Canva and KPMG and all that kind of stuff.
I know. Backstage, you told me, I think you've been on a live for a few hours
yes,
now.
Yes, like a live thing.
Hopefully we can make this one really fun and engaging.
Yes, hopefully. But yeah, and the big focus really like for us in terms of users, we often get, we have a whole variety because we're a horizontal platform to build agents. A lot of the people are kind of people that work in go-to-market, non-engineers, domain experts that want to build agents. And I'll show you why when we show you the platform in a little bit.
That's awesome. Well, thank you. I'm so excited. I guess, before we get in, just to set the stage for everyone watching, we're gonna build an agent live today. I asked Scott, I was like, do you want to show the demo or you want to do it live? And he's like, let's do it live. And so it's super cool. Scott's built some really impressive integrations that I think will start to get at what is possible after you build the scaffolding. So really excited about that. Please throw questions into the chat. I do have to say, please mind our community standards, be friendly and inquisitive, and we'll get to all your questions. Feel free to put them either in the Vercel community chat or on Twitter. We're watching both of them. But yeah, I think with that, we can go ahead and get building if you're good, Scott.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
I'd love to just hear when you thought about building this, what was the impetus? How did you think through it? I feel like so many people, especially this week of all weeks, are like, I got to build an agent, and like, I don't even know where to start. Like, how did you conceptualize it? Because I don't think you're an engineer, right?
No, I'm not. Well, a long time ago, I was a web dev, but like I've been a marketer by trade.
Yeah,
for a long time now. So where this came from us is essentially we have lots of users trying to build agents, and a really common thing that people have actually built and our users have built are personal website creators. So like this all just came from, we've seen people building them in our community, and we thought we should build our own and show people how to build it. And V0 is like really good for that. So that's why.
That's awesome. Well, so why did you choose to work in V0 and where did you start?
Yeah. So I chose V0 because it's actually the easiest to work with for something like this. It really is. And obviously you've got all the great stuff with Vercel behind it, but it was actually just the easiest. Yeah. Like I did actually try some other website generation, and V0 was much easier. It's much more, and it works better and seems to work every time and much more stable. So
that's awesome. Well, I'd love to, my first question was really going to just be like, what prompt did you start with, or how did you, because I think that gets back to the cold start problem of like, I have these ideas, but I don't necessarily know how to bring them to life. Where did you start? And feel free, I know it's a vulnerable invitation to share your screen on a live stream, but feel free to share your screen and show us, or we can just talk through too.
Yep. Cool. So I'll show you basically, I'll start building it live.
Cool. Okay, let's do it.
So this is Relevance AI. This is a place where you can build AI agents. AI agent is essentially a combination of tools and knowledge and all sorts of other fun stuff, which I'll show you as we go through it. So the way it kind of starts from is.
Also, I like that, Scott. Maybe we should start every V0 Power Hour of Let's Build an Agent with everyone's definition of what an agent is.
Yes, exactly.
I
Yes, we
like
should
that.
definitely do that.
That's
Yes,
great.
yes.
That's good. I'm going to take that.
Yeah, exactly. So there's a couple of ways that you can start with building an agent in Relevance. One of them is that you can actually, so you go into here, you just click new agent. Like I did here, you can actually just describe what you want to do and it'll start building it for you. But for this, I'll kind of show you how I kind of think about it.
Cool.
Because I like to get things up and running relatively quickly. So you can do that, you type it in and it'll run it and it'll actually just build an agent for you. But this is how I think about when it comes to prompting. So we have this thing called a prompt template. So I've got this like blank agent here. And we have this button called a prompt template. And it's really cool because it makes it really simple, I think. Because essentially an agent is like, it's got a goal, wants to do something.
Yeah.
These are the tools that it needs to do to complete that goal. And here's some rules that it needs to follow.
Well, I think that that's really important because I think that if you had started just with a blank prompt, you obviously, if you have experience in this, you can outline the goal, tools, rules in there. But I think, again, with the cold start problem, it's hard to think about all that at the start.
Yeah, exactly. So when I came to it, I was like, basically, like I said, this came inspiration from our users. So like I knew what they'd done. They'd kind of started generating personalized websites. So I kind of got, so obviously I give it a name. We've got these little characters, fun characters, and you can obviously add your own little.
The most important part of building an agent.
Very, very, very important. And you have must give it a name. So Peggy, the personalized website builder, and a description, build personalized websites. So the way I was thinking about is that it's like basically a way to build one-to-one personalized websites. So do some research, then build a website.
Cool.
And how this works is, so essentially it's got a goal. So the goal would be build a personalized website by researching a person and building the website. And it's pretty much as simple as that. So like that's essentially what we want to achieve. So and then I can give it these tools to help it do that research. So I have kind of some more, you can add some more fun, some flair to this, but this is kind of the bare bones where you can add some personality, make it fun, research really hard, etc. But this is kind of the bare bones of the goal.
Super simple.
So, and on the tool side, so essentially we've got like tools. So classic research tool is, so we click just some shortcuts, but essentially you just click tools. Classic research tool is our friend Google, and this is kind of an inbuilt tool into Relevance. And we have about 2,000 integrations. This is Google search. I'll use that. Fabulous. To research the person. Then I also potentially want to do some, might as well use LinkedIn, obviously, if I'm thinking about it from a work context. Yeah. So I can do this and I'll get companies and to research company and role of person. And then I also wanted to give it another tool, which is essentially a tool to any web pages it finds, so it can actually extract the content of the web pages.
Cool.
So to extract content from any website you find. Value from Google search. So this is like simple research tools. You could obviously add a lot more to that specific, depending on what kind of goals you were looking to achieve, what kind of research you were looking to do before you created your website. You can kind of do anything here. And then the next set of tools is to build the website. And this is where obviously Vercel comes in. So do the research and build the website. So essentially there's two parts. So we actually have a V0 built in a little bit. So there's two parts. What I do here was I'd add a tool, and this is I suppose I was doing it a bit quickly to begin with using like shortcuts. But if you wanted to add a tool, you also just click this button.
Oh, cool.
Maybe
okay.
Probably what I should have started with, but this shows you all the tools. And you can see, so from a V0 perspective, if I search some of the tools, There's V0, so we have generate app and deploy app. So
And how did when you look at this screen, how did you decide what to use first?
I've kind of looked at this like, all right, okay, I want to build a website on V0. So I look at kind of these are the actions essentially. The first
Yeah.
one is an API call, always, because that means that you as a user, if you have a little bit or even just ask ChatGPT or Claude to help you, you can do API calls to do anything in any service. And then these are like actions that we built on the side. So these are actually within this account, but ignore them. But these are generate app and deploy app. So we built these as little actions that people
Cool.
can easily use. So the generate app tool, so I add this tool. And I'll show you this in a second. And I'll dive into how the tools work a little bit.
Cool.
So generate the website using. So usually I like to. You don't necessarily need to do this, but I like to reference them when in the content. So when I add the tool, and then deploy it. So you might as well deploy it if you're going to generate it. You might as well publish it. And then deploy the website. And the last thing which I really like, and I actually stole this from a customer that showed me this, was they had another step, which was essentially this tool again, which is the extract website content tool. And I was like, check the website is live by just basically checking it was live,
Cool.
which is a great idea.
Honestly,
before you like send it to someone or
as someone who frequently ships things and gets excited, that's a great check. Also, Scott, we have our first question from the chat is, do you read the chat? Anyway, keep up the great work. I love V0 and all around it. So great work. And yes, we read the chat. Awesome. Cool.
So I'll show you how the tools work. Tools are probably the most complicated things in Relevance. Actually, for the last one here what this is called the core instructions. This is like the guide on how to make things work. And on the rules, I'll just put like make a one-page website just to keep it simple. And that's all you need to do basically. But the way the tools work is essentially what happens is that, so if you go into tools, so we have this on the V0 side, for example, on the generate app. What it is this tool is essentially all it does is you give it a prompt. So basically what happens is that the agent, imagine like these are like people with user inputs that I could fill in as a user, but what happens is the agent will fill these in. So like it goes like, so this is the prompt. So the agent will determine what the prompt should be to build the website, and it will fill that in.
Based on everything that it's pulled.
Based on everything that's
awesome.
pulled.
Yeah. Do you give it any scaffolding of which to work under, or do you just let it run and trust it?
No, like especially at the beginning, just let it run. My advice is,
wow.
And then because you'll learn, and then it's iteration from what do you like, what do you prefer, all that kind of fun stuff.
And then if you did want to build scaffolding, and you might get in this later, what step would you train it in?
Yeah, so if generally in the core instructions in here. So it's like once you've seen the kind of thing that you like, so especially up here on the goal, or you can even add like a new section. But you can put things like, like all the way from like either like a color scheme or an inspiration of things that you like, all the way to like when you're doing the research, make sure you never use this on the website. Either like have you ever like someone they used to date or something.
Yeah.
Like whatever the case may be, and you're going to go through these, like once you kind of get something to production, you're going to go through these steps.
Cool. Awesome.
And the last step for most of these, so these tools here that should work exactly the same. And this is the generate app is very, very similar. It's just an app that basically takes some information that the agent will fill in order to deploy the app. Sorry, it's the same sort of idea. What happens is that, so when we generate the app on V0, for those that are interested in, is that this tool, we put the prompt in, we get a response back, which gives us lots of information, including the chat ID, the version ID, the project ID, and the project name. And the agent just remembers that. So when it comes to then deploying the app, it then just fills them out and just sends them.
Wow. And so this is, so for everyone that's not native in V0 or in Relevance, that is all of the V0 chat IDs, project IDs, and version IDs that you typically would go to your dashboard and see, but you can see it all right there and the agent can access it.
Yep, exactly.
That's awesome.
And then there is one last thing though. that I forgot to show you, and it is relevant. Um, when it came to setup of this is you do need to for V0 and for other ones. Actually, let me save this agent. You do actually need to add the API key. So if you are essentially like here's in integrations, and if you're using V0, here's some other ones I have in this test account. And you go all integrations, V0's API key, and then you just obviously go into V0, go into your settings, go to API keys, and grab an API key, and away you go. And I realized that to get this to work, I actually do need one. I will delete this.
You can here also if you can close your I was going to say you can close your screen, but
all right, sorry, I'm all good. I'll delete afterwards. I'm fine. Trust it.
I know. I told you it's vulnerable. It's vulnerable and dangerous, maybe, to put up your screen. Yeah, keep all of your keys safe. That is my message.
Yeah, keep all your keys safe. Yes, definitely.
But I do also, jokes aside, I think the benefit of building with V0 is that I think that that's a real risk with a lot of vibe coding tools, and we are the most secure, and I think that's why enterprises use us. And so, jokes aside of what Scott just did on a live stream, it's really safe building with V0.
Yeah, I agree. We have major problems. We have a marketplace of AI agents, and people leave their keys in there all the time.
Yeah, I think it's going to be
yeah. So that is essentially the agent. So, and it kind of runs. I will run it, but it takes a little while. So I am going to show you one that run before. I'm sorry.
No. Scott, you. This is great.
I will see how this one comes out because I've done one for you already, Caroline. So,
oh wow, this is me great.
Yeah, might as well. But you do have a very long surname.
Yeah, RAMIT, or it's I, not A, and
yeah, okay.
A, there you go.
Yeah. Okay. So you just put something like this in, and I'll start to take you through now. So I'll do that research. So this was my and this just shows how you can extend it. So this is right now is kind of like a toy. In this basic way. So I actually did this this morning. I already did Caroline's website. And this is what it does, basically. So it did the research. It went for Google. It went for LinkedIn. Extract website content.
Terrified to see what it pulls up.
Yeah, I went into one of your. I don't know where it went. Went here. Something went wrong. Tried different places, but there's a couple of beautiful things here, which I think are agents is really, really important. It's called self-healing. One of the ones is this Google search tool at the beginning. So it actually did an error, and what the error is that it chose the wrong way to phrase a syntax error. It chose the wrong way to phrase the US. And instead of giving up and like pointing an error back that I didn't fix, I just tried again with something different.
And how does it, Scott, that's really interesting. How does it self-heal? Like, what is it learning off of? Like, is it able to go in and extract where the issue came from? And
yes, basically. So it gets given this error, and it will just try. So sometimes it will just try it again if it sees it's like a temporary error. But if it sees it's something like this was a response it got from this service, and so that helped it learn that it was using the wrong syntax. So then it just changed it and did it again.
Cool.
And it does that for all sorts of tools, including things like V0 and stuff.
What's an example of when you've seen it self-heal with V0?
So one of the things it did was I had when I was originally playing with this, I had like a setting for the chat ID.
Yeah.
And I had like a character limit. I don't know why. I put like how the format should be.
Yeah.
What I'd actually put and what it should be was wrong.
Interesting.
And the response came back for V0 telling it that was, and then the agent overrid my
cool.
Yeah. So because the response told them it was the wrong format. So
oh goodness.
So here is so this is where we got to with this one, and this was the website. So we got, have you had breakfast today?
It pulled out one of my personal blogs, which this is more vulnerable than you sharing your screen. I think I'd rather have an API key up. This is awesome. Cool.
So yeah, and we did yeah, there's a few like, and that's agent running now. That's kind of fun. It's okay. Like it's a bit of a toy. Like you can kind of do this kind of stuff. Like
Yeah.
it's kind of fun. But where I suppose where it makes sense for a lot of people is when you start extending things upon it, and that's the if you get onto like so this was a couple of extensions. So think about work. One of the ones is instead of like it's exactly the same base, but instead of I also give our CRM to be able to do it. So instead of
Cool.
giving, so for example, you could just what you could do with this is you could trigger the agent every time, for example, someone filled out a form on your website, and then it would do the research from the CRM of what you've done and all that kind of stuff. You could use that for any analytics, anything like that. And this was like, so I just gave it my website and then my name, and it did this web page for me a while ago. There we go, beautiful, because I am Scottish, and it did this.
Cool.
So that's kind of cool, and you can imagine
Yeah.
using that from a sales perspective. And then obviously, then again, adding more actions onto that where you could essentially it's the same thing, but this is like, okay, right, you use your CRM, potentially you can actually add to your CRM, you can do stuff with it.
That's really cool.
The website, send a personalized pitch email to someone, and away you go. With includes, for example, the website that you've generated as success pitch.
When you're working with teams that want to layer on more of these actions that are being deployed by agents, where do you suggest them to start? This is something that came up in our Power Hour last week when we were building out an automated inbox on V0. And it was like, oh, we have all these feature ideas and like we don't know where to start and how much we should interact back and forth with V0 as an agent builds out this experience for us versus giving it all at once. So how do you suggest that people go about the scaffolding of actions?
Yeah, I think that again, like I think it's probably a bit trite, but I think it's true. It's to start small. So like really, the way that I often start is I have an end game in mind. Like, so for stuff like this, there's a reason why we wanted to say create personalized websites, and we want to. Our intention is that we're going to embed like We're going to also build personalized agents and embed them on web pages and send them to people to delight them when they sign up to Relevance. Now that's my end game. There's a lot to that. I've got to build a website. I've also got to build a website agents on the fly as well. But the first bit is to like, how can I just like do one thing, which is like do the research and then do something with that research, and just build out from there. Basically.
That's awesome.
Yeah. But I think you can get there relatively quickly. It really depends on the complexity. And I think that's sometimes where it gets a bit challenging, is like these are all like single agents, which is cool, and you can do lots of cool things with them. But when it gets quite complex, you're kind of looking at multi-agent systems, which we do have, which is like our workforce.
Cool. Yeah. How do you do that?
So for us, it's a similar idea. You essentially just link agents together. And the reason why, so this was a one I put together, and this is a relatively simple one again, but the reason why it's complicated is that, so we've got this like personalized website creator, which we've also shown, but that's linked to with like a calendar booking scheduler. And that's this like agent that goes back and forth trying to book times. That's those are really like those are especially they're quite complex tasks. So like that's why you split them up into two agents. But especially with this one, it's got like back and forth happening.
So looking at this agent system right here of the workforce, something that I think a lot about of like making agents more powerful is by bringing in more context. How do you think about bringing in context to this whole workflow, or do you curate the context based on each agent and what it needs to accomplish? Or do you think about it as if it's a whole team and the whole team should have context of what everyone's doing?
Yeah. So the way that we often do these is when it comes to the multi-agent system anyway, is you essentially have a manager agent. Mm-hmm. What happens is the sub-agents essentially pass information back and forth. So like the V0 personalized website creator would, all right, cool, here's some information. The manager agent will say, hey, here's some information, create a website, and I'll give it back to me when you're done, once you're done with it. and then you can it can pass that around for different tasks, which isn't how this one's built. But yeah, that's often the way to think about it. It's kind of manager agent that like delegates tasks.
Awesome. Very
Yeah,
cool.
but it's like honestly the best way. I think sometimes I love this feature, and like for advanced users, it's incredible, and for advanced tasks. But we often actually find people coming into Relevance and they start building multi-agent systems when they don't need to.
Oh,
Like,
interesting. Say why, other than excitement,
it
why
looks, I
why
think
do you
because
think people go
it
to that?
looks good,
It looks cool.
honestly.
Yeah, it does look.
Like I have no other reasons for it when people are like dragging cards around. Like that's so.
Well, what's
Uh,
I guess getting into the technicality of it, what is the issue of building a multi-agent system when you don't need it?
it just creates complexity,
Yeah.
and like there's more chances of things going wrong. You kind of need to know what you're doing. There's and really, and it would just be slower. There's latency and all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff rather than just putting it into
Put
one
it
agent.
in one. Yeah. That's awesome.
But once you do have that, use those complicated use cases, or you want to combine multiple agents together, it's exceptional.
Well, I'm curious. You know, I think the personal website maker is such a good use case of we talk a lot about like sometimes to feel the magic of V0 of vibe coding, it's easiest to actually on ramp with something that's in your life because it's fun and it's easy and you see the power of it, and then you start to bring it into, you know, your work daily task. I'm curious, like what are as someone who wanted to get started building an agent for their daily task at work, where would you suggest people to start?
That's a good question. If you're wanting to build, I think often, so we have two, basically we have a Relevance. We think of agents in terms of there's two types. There's this more autopilot agents, which are kind of our co-pilot agents. So
Yeah.
these are the autopilot agents being that like, so essentially like this part's the website creator for me. The end game is this is autopilot. It's a trigger, something happens, the website is created, I'll do something with it. It's more kind of like just happens in the background. Often you're better off starting with kind of a co-pilot agent where it's like maybe got access to like maybe it's just simple knowledge search or something that like or maybe it's got access to your email and it summarizes that, or looks at your calendar every morning and sends you an email. Like relatively simple tasks that you can kind of do with lots of tools, but they'll help you get started. And then you can kind of, for example, we have this chat feature as well as we have feature like you can talk to Relevance agents in Slack. And you can kind of get it to do things. So like on the fly. So rather than having me more autopilot. I don't know if that answers your question, but yeah.
No, I think it is like thinking of things that you do every day. And you just showed us how to make it so easy to not have to do them anymore. I'm curious, have you experimented with any other agent tasks that you've built within V0?
This has been the big one. I did what else did I do? I did something way back when V0 started. I had this because we intended to I was going to build a whole section of our website in V0. We basically have these see these tools. I don't know if this, so these tools, we have thousands of them. And I wanted to create like a page for all of them.
Oh, cool.
And my plan initially was I was going to get V0 to make all the pages. And then I was going to host it.
Oh, super cool.
So
oh, Scott. Okay, that's our next live. Yeah, you should do that.
Yeah, so I was going to give it like a product feed essentially. So how do I'll show you better actually. It's a bad example. But basically no, this is bad. We basically have like a feed that updates, and they're constantly updating because we're constantly adding new ones. And there's 2,000 integrations. So like I was going to, the idea was there was going to be a feed that every day we send it to V0 and it publish new pages on the fly. For example,
super cool.
A page about like every single tool, every single tool that was ever created, and it just did it every day. Help me have to think about it.
That is awesome. And I think, yeah, we're going to have some exciting product updates that I think will make that even easier for you, Scott. That is awesome. Well, cool. I know we're at the half hour of this power hour. And I know you've been on lives all day. So I don't know if there's anything else that you want to keep building, but I think that this was so helpful to see how you can get started. And honestly, at least got me thinking of a lot of things that I could go build right now, not including that website that it built for me. And, but I'm curious if there's anything else that you'd, encourage people who are getting started to build agents of where to start, or any tips that you've learned along the way.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing really, I think try like I think the biggest is, so when it comes to an agent, you've got some sort of idea to do something. I would like often try our the invent, because what it does, it will generate tools and stuff. Some of the things that I've kind of skipped through, and like it's probably a little bit unfair, but it's hard for me to avoid it, is that I know these tools exist.
Yeah.
And so that's cool. Like, it makes it easier for me. But what happens with invent is actually also has that same knowledge as well. So when you just go to type in what you want the agent to do, it will know whether tools exist which might help that task. So say, for example, create a personalized website. And this is often a really good place for people to start if they're using Relevance or building agents or whatever. And it will just, they've got this little game as well you can play while you're waiting. It will,
I like that.
Yeah, it will help you figure out what, like how an agent is built for the first time.
Yeah, that is something that we talked a lot about last week too, of like how much do you scope what you want the product to look like versus sometimes the beauty of vibe coding is getting to, in real time, your creativity is expanded, and with one prompt, it changes entirely how you want it to look. But then also the more you play with it, you can bring in your favorite tools, you know what you want, and you can kind of walk it there. But sometimes it is nice to just go in with a fresh mind.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And I imagine it's exactly the same with V0 as well.
Yeah.
Like it's exactly the same. Like go something, leave a bit loose and figure out what it looks like, and you can always
Yeah.
later.
Yeah. Awesome. Scott, what is your dream agent to build? That's a question I will leave us with.
What's my
You
dream
can,
agent?
you can take down your screen too if you don't want to.
My dream agent to build. Mine's is I've got toddlers.
Oh yeah. Talk about practical agents.
Yeah, so I'm all about, like, my life is a nightmare. I wish someone just like, it's all the stuff that I used to be able to just do normally, like pay bills and things.
Yeah.
And those would be, I just want someone to, like, an agent to just pretend that it was me before I had toddlers and just do stuff. That would be a dream. I would love that.
I love that. You could build the agent and you could have it like update V0 every time that you do it, and maybe it could render like time saved, or how much time you, like every time it does a task, it's how much time you used to have before toddlers, and V0 like a beautiful demonstration of that. That would be awesome.
That would be amazing. That'd be a dream. That'd be so good.
It's really cool. Well, Scott, this has been awesome, and hopefully it was fun. I had on the scale of your lives that you've done. Was it
this is great. This is so good. This is so good. Yeah, this is so good. I was more monitoring the live, so I was all right. So
good. Awesome. Well, thank you so much. It was so fun and really helpful. I think it's everything that we were talking about at the beginning of. Everyone wants to be building agents right now. And I think for a lot of people, they don't know where to start. And so I think the more things we can do like this and, build together and show, though I joked that it's kind of nice when something goes wrong, but everything kind of went right for you today.
Yeah,
it's great. But it's awesome. So thank you for going through the steps and for showing us how to build with V0 and with Relevance. And we'd love to do it again. So when you build the toddler agent, or the anti-toddler agent, we can have you back.
Amazing. Thanks so much, Carla.
Awesome. Thanks, Scott. Thanks for everyone for joining. We've got episode 4 next week, and we're gonna bring back, actually, Scott, it's very relevant to this conversation. We're gonna work. Last week we built an email inbox with V0, and next week we're focusing all on adding agentic qualities. So doing, yeah. So you can let's see, like, so AI can, or V0, the agent can come in and see the emails you're receiving, start to draft emails. And we're going to show how draft and also sort and lots of other fun stuff and whatever the community wants us to build. But really showing the power of V0 and Vercel together. So it'll be super fun. So
that'd be very cool. That'd be
yeah.
very cool.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Awesome. Okay. Well, thank you so much, Scott. And thanks, everyone. We'll see you next week.